Hi, this is JC with Route4Me. Who do we have on the call?
Hi, my name is Steven.
Hi, Steven. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. How are you, JC?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. So, Steven, is it just you today
Yep,
on your end?
just me
Okay.
today.
All right. Fantastic. Well, let's go ahead and talk about your concerns. What do you have in mind?
Yeah, so I'm looking to expand into new markets, and I want to be
Okay.
confident that I can cover my driver's costs and um, look to optimize the costs that I've drawn out and to see if Route for Me can calculate those better for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I can understand your concern. I mean, expanding into new markets can always be um, concerning, but then also exciting, right? We just need to make sure that we have the right tools in place so that we can make informed decisions. So let's go
Yeah,
ahead and dive in into your Route4Me account. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly how you can run sample routes or test routes that will help you determine whether it's a good move, it's not a good move, is it at the right time, it's not the right time, will the drivers be efficient enough, and will the cost make sense? Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the Route4Me. So I'm going into the system, and what we usually are going to recommend to use in this scenario is our address book map section. Okay, and you've used this functionality before, right?
yep, sure have.
Okay, excellent. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to add um, addresses in the area that you are thinking of expanding into. Okay, so let's say that you're going into this area. You can use a list of leads that you might have, a list of potential customers that you want to visit in that area. You can just upload whatever type of data you want to test into your address book. Okay, so let's say that we're going to grab this section right here. This is your area of concern, and you want to expand into this. Okay, so all you have to do is just create a polygon or draw a shape around it. Select the addresses you want to visit. Go to File, Plan a Route we selected, and then we begin the process of planning a route. But before we do that, okay, you with me, Steve?
Yep, I'm with you, JC.
Excellent. So before we do any of this, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the team section, and we're going to select one of the drivers that you're going to be using for this possible expansion. Okay, so let's say we're going to grab driver 3. We're going to modify that user, and we're going to make sure that we have the correct rates for this driver. Okay, so we got his name, his last name, his email. We can put in his phone number, the state where you guys are operating in, the mileage, and then we set up the hourly rate. Okay, let's say we pay this guy $15 an hour, and you can set up a driving rate per hour, a working rate per hour, an idling rate per hour, and a driving rate. So you can separate your costs basically and tell the system how you want to compensate this driver. So we're not going to make any changes on those, but you can test it out later on. We're going to set it up to $15 an hour, modify that, and save our changes. Then we're simply going to go into the team section again, and we're going to set up the vehicle that we're going to use to plan these routes, okay, to test out and see what the cost might be. So let's go ahead and use this vehicle Teletrack Demo 4, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the miles per gallon in the city and the miles per gallon on the highway, okay? Easy enough, right?
Yep, looks pretty easy.
Okay. Then we set up the type of fuel that this vehicle is going to be using. 87, 89, 91, octane levels, you name it, okay? So you set that up, you modify the vehicle, you save it, and then we go through the process of planning a route. Do you have any questions so far?
I don't believe I have any questions so far.
Okay, excellent. So we're back to our address book. We're going to grab a section of the map. This is our suspected new territory. 112 addresses in the area. We're going to go to File, Plan a new route, or Plan a route is selected. We name the route. Okay. Then we set up a departure point. We don't have a specific departure point. You can set up your own office, you can set up your warehouse, your yard, depending on what you're doing. And then also you can use this functionality as well to perhaps locate new potential depots. Maybe you're looking for a new strategic place in this new market where you can set up a distribution center or an office that will help you, take better care of these new customers and attack this market, from the front end. So it's up to you. This will help you determine whether you need to do that or not. You can run as many tests as you want because the system offers you unlimited possibilities. Okay? So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to set up any departure point. We go to the optimization. We say single driver, or perhaps we're going to do an end route at any address or a round trip, depending on what you would prefer. Then all you have to do is jump into the user section, select the driver that we're testing. The vehicle, which is Demo 3, I think it was. And then we select the user. I think it was 3 as well. Then we create a route. Now the system will go and analyze the proximities, the distance, and everything you already know, how Route4Me calculates a route, and what you're familiar with. Then we get a list of stops on a nice sequence. And from here, I believe you're familiar with the data that comes up at the bottom of the route, and we can see how many stops the fuel cost that is calculating will take, the estimated distance that we were going to cover, and the total time for this big route. Okay, so this way you can begin calculating or evaluating what will be the intended cost of going into this new market. It makes sense?
Okay. Yeah, definitely makes sense.
Yeah. Afterwards, you can go into your routes list, select each route that you would like to compare. You can create multiple different routes, compare them side by side, and make decisions right from there. So this will help you make that new approach to the new market very easy with a lot of information, and will make you very successful. Okay.
Yeah, so what if I wanted to add an address to this route?
Oh, that's not a problem. We'll simply go into the insert section. You can add an address directly, just type it in. You can do a quick insert, or you can upload a file. You can upload a whole list of addresses to this route in case you want to test it out. You can import, you can copy and paste, either way. And then after you've added the address, you can re-optimize or let the system put it at the end of the route or the sequence.
Okay. So what if I didn't want this to be a round trip and I wanted them to end at a specific location?
Oh, okay. Well, then all we have to do then is go into the edit section right here on the top. Go into the route settings. Go into your optimization and change from round trip to end at any address, or maybe you want to choose a specific address and select the last address on the route. Then you simply update the route and the changes will take place. At that point, you can measure your cost many different ways, because it's not the same as doing a round trip and just going in one way, right?
Yep.
Excellent. Steven, does this answer your questions?
Yeah, it definitely does, JC. This seems like this could really help us with going into this new market. I spent a little time with it, and it looks like I can properly calculate all my costs, all my drivers through all the addresses we're trying to go in with this market to make sure that it's going to be financially beneficial for us before we get started. So this is great. Thank you, JC.
Fantastic. I'm glad we can help you make informed decisions. Well, Steven, as always, please don't forget to use our communications lines, live chat, support at Route4Me.com, and of course, our support section or support panel on our help section right up here. Okay?
Great. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, Steven. You have a great one.